Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are swapping geopolitics for glycolipids.
We are. We're diving headfirst into the chemistry of comfort, specifically decoding the hydrating ingredients you see in all your skincare products.
Exactly. We've gone through a huge stack of source material, cosmetic, dermatology reports, chemistry breakdowns to really distill it all.
And our mission really is simple. We want you to be able to look at a product label and instantly know, is this formula designed to help my skin attract moisture, or is its main job to seal it in?
We're focusing mainly on facial serums, creams, moisturizers. That's where you'll see these ingredients the most. And by the end of this, you'll understand what we're calling the Power 9 major players in skin hydration.
Yep. And before we get to that list, we'll cover the foundation, why hydration is so significant. Then we'll unpack those 9 ingredients, and finally we'll give you a kind of cheat sheet for different skin types: dry, oily, sensitive.
Okay, let's start there. The absolute foundation. Why does hydration matter beyond, just avoiding flaky skin?
Well, it goes so much deeper than just the surface look. Proper hydration is what keeps your skin plump, elastic, and resilient.
Resilient.
Yeah. When your skin have enough water, it can actually perform its most important job, which is being a protective barrier. It defends you against pollutants, pathogens, and it helps regulate its own healing.
So it's about structural integrity, not just aesthetics.
Precisely. The sources all point to this key fact. The outermost layer of your skin, the stratum corneum, needs to be about 30 to 40% water.
30 to 40.
That's the sweet spot. When you dip below that, the barrier is compromised, and that's when you get irritation, inflammation, all of it.
Okay, and this brings us to what the source material flagged as the single biggest mistake people make.
Oh, absolutely.
The idea that dry skin is not the same as dehydrated skin.
This is the aha moment. If you take away one thing today, let it be this. Dry skin is a chronic condition. It means your skin genetically lacks oil, or sebum. It feels rough and flaky because it can't produce enough of its own lipids to seal itself.
So that's a lack of oil.
Correct. But dehydrated skin is a temporary condition. It's a lack of water. And this can happen to literally any skin type, even oily skin.
How would you know you have it?
Your skin will look dull, it'll feel tight, especially if you wash it, and fine lines will suddenly look way more obvious.
That makes so much sense. So if we're defining our terms, hydrating ingredients must be the ones that increase the water content.
Those are our humectants. And then the moisturizing ingredients, the emollients, the occlusives, they're the ones that lock all that water in so it can't just evaporate away.
And you really need both.
You really do.
Perfect. We've got the why. Let's get into the individual players. Our Power 9 list. We'll start with the ingredients that are all about getting water into the skin, the humectants.
And we have to start with the superstar, hyaluronic acid, HA.
Of course.
It's a powerhouse. It attracts moisture from the air or from deeper in your skin. And this is the famous part, it can hold it to 1,000 times its weight in water.
That number is just wild. But since it's everywhere now, is there a risk of it, backfiring? Like if you live in a really dry climate, can it pull water out of your skin?
That is a fantastic question.
Say.
And yes, the sources are clear on this. Most HA is high molecular weight.
Yeah.
It sits on the surface and gives you that instant plump look, but it needs humidity to work best.
Okay.
So in a very dry climate, you have to layer a moisturizer over it to provide that moisture source. Otherwise, it could potentially pull water up from the deeper layers of your skin, which you don't want.
That is a critical detail. Okay, next up, glycerin. It feels like the unsung hero.
It is. It gets ignored because it's, frankly, cheap and common. But it's so effective. It draws moisture in, but it also has this secondary job. It forms a light protective layer on the surface.
So it attracts and protects a little bit.
Exactly. A dual action that makes it great for healing dry patches, and it's non-comedogenic. Super safe.
Moving on to panthenol, which is provitamin B5.
Panthenol is brilliant. It's also a dual-action ingredient. It's a humectant, so it binds water, but it's also a mild emollient.
Okay, so it softens too.
It does. But its standout benefit is how incredibly soothing it is. It reduces redness. It speeds up the skin's natural healing. It's amazing for a compromised barrier.
And the last of this group, the gentle giant, aloe vera.
Aloe is a classic humectant because it's mostly water. But what's really interesting is that the gel contains these complex sugars, polysaccharides, that seem to interact with damaged skin receptors.
Which is why it feels so calming.
That's why it has such powerful anti-inflammatory and calming properties. It's perfect for immediate relief from burns, irritation, even breakouts.
Excellent. So we've covered the attractors. Now let's talk about the architects, the ingredients that repair the skin's barrier and lock that moisture in.
We have to start with ceramides. These are just vital. They're lipid molecules that already make up about 50% of your skin's outer layer.
Right, this is the famous analogy. They're the mortar that holds the bricks of your skin cells together.
Exactly that. And we lose them as we age or through damage. So using them in skincare is about pure replenishment. They reduce dryness, irritation. They're just essential for anyone with a compromised barrier.
Next on the list is squalane.
Squalane is special. It's a stable, hydrogenated version of squalane, which is a lipid our own skin produces. So it mimics our natural oils almost perfectly.
So the skin recognizes it immediately.
It does. It sinks in fast. It creates a protective layer, but it doesn't feel heavy or greasy. And crucially, the sources all confirm it's non-comedogenic, so even oily skin types can use it.
Okay, now let's talk about something that confuses a lot of people. Fatty alcohols like sterol alcohol. We're always told alcohol is drying.
This is the #1 point of confusion, and it's all about the chemistry. Simple alcohols like ethanol are drying solvents, but these are totally different.
How so?
They're derived from fats like coconut oil. Their chemical structure has a long carbon chain, which makes them waxy, heavy substances, not solvents. They're emollients.
So they're actually moisturizers.
They're moisturizers. They're occlusives that form a layer to lock moisture in. They soothe and soften the skin, the complete opposite of drying.
That is such a key distinction. Okay, we have 2 more on our Power 9 list. These are the multitaskers. Let's start with lactic acid.
Lactic acid is an AHA, an alpha hydroxy acid, but it has this unique dual role. First, it's a very gentle exfoliant. It helps slough off dead skin cells.
But it's also a hydrator.
It is. At the same time, it acts as a really potent humectant. It actually increases the skin's own natural moisturizing factors. So you get brighter, smoother skin and more hydration. It's much milder than something like glycolic acid.
And our last one, number 9, protein complexes, peptides, amino acids.
These are the builders. Peptides are basically little messengers. They're short chains of amino acids that signal the skin to produce more of its own structural proteins like collagen and elastin.
So they're encouraging the skin to rebuild itself.
Exactly. And a stronger skin structure means a more robust moisture barrier, better firmness, better elasticity.
Okay, that's our Power 9. But this brings up the most important practical question. Why does it matter so much to pick the right one for your skin?
Because the wrong ingredient can make things worse. I mean, if you put a heavy, occlusive cream designed for very dry skin on someone with oily skin, you're probably going to get breakouts. You have to match the tool to the job.
Right, so let's run through the cheat sheet from our sources. First up, dry skin.
For dry skin, you need everything. Deep moisture, oil replenishment, barrier repair. You want your humectants, like hyaluronic acid, but you must pair them with the heavy hitters for barrier support. Ceramides, squalane, and panthenol. You're replacing the lipids your skin can't make.
Makes sense. What about the total opposite? Oily or acne-prone skin?
Here, the goal is lightweight, non-comedogenic hydration and oil regulation. So you want the light humectants. Hyaluronic acid, glycerin, aloe vera.
But the source material brought in 2 new players here that weren't on our Power 9 list. Niacinamide and salicylic acid.
Great catch. They did that because for oily skin, just adding water isn't enough. You have to address the root cause.
Which is the oil and the clogged pores.
Right. So niacinamide helps regulate your sebum production, and salicylic acid is key for exfoliating inside the pore. They're the essential partners to the hydrators for this skin type.
And finally, what about sensitive skin?
For sensitive skin, the keywords are gentle, soothing, barrier strengthening. Aloe vera and panthenol are your best friends here because they're so calming. You still want hyaluronic acid and ceramides, but the sources also specifically mentioned colloidal oatmeal.
For calming redness.
Exactly. It's a fantastic anti-inflammatory.
The sources gave a great product example, the Era Organics face wash. They pointed out that it has aloe and manuka honey, but more importantly, that it's pH matched to 5.5. Why is that pH level so important?
That's absolutely vital. The skin's natural protective barrier, its acid mantle, is acidic, right around pH 5.5. If you use a cleanser that's too alkaline, you strip that barrier away,
leaving it vulnerable
and causing water loss and irritation. So a thoughtfully formulated cleanser respects that natural pH. It cleans without disrupting.
That kind of holistic approach is key. It's not just about products, right? The sources emphasize a lot of lifestyle factors.
For sure. There are 6 key things. First, obvious but true, drink water. But remember the caveat, drinking water alone won't fix surface dehydration. You still need topicals.
What's second?
Eat water-rich foods,
Mm-hmm.
things like cucumber, watermelon, oranges. And third, and this is a big one, use a humidifier, especially in the winter or in dry climates.
To stop the air from stealing moisture from your skin.
Precisely. Fourth, avoid hot showers. Hot water strips your skin's natural oils. Use lukewarm water.
After the shower.
Fifth, gently pat dry, don't rub, leave a little moisture on the surface. And sixth, the absolute cornerstone of everything. Apply sunscreen regularly. UV exposure just devastates the skin barrier and leads to moisture loss.
That's a powerful checklist. It all comes back to protecting that barrier.
Yeah.
So what does this all really mean for your routine?
I think the main takeaway is this. You need to figure out what your skin is telling you. Hydration is about water content. It makes your skin plump. Moisture is about oil. It keeps the barrier strong.
So you need to ask yourself, does my skin feel tight?
If it feels tight, it's dehydrated. It needs water. It needs humectants. If it feels rough and flaky, it's dry. It lacks oil. It needs emollients and occlusives, those barrier repair ingredients.
It's that simple to start.
It's that simple. We've learned that keeping that 30–40% water content in the outer layer is the key to healthy skin. Which, brings up a final thought for you to consider.
Okay.
We know we lose natural moisture and our barrier function declines as we age. So the question is, how proactive do we need to be with these strategies today to actually influence the resilience and the health of our skin 10 years from now?